So let's look through the papers this morning with Michael Booker from The Express and the Royal Historian. And the Royal Historian, Kate Williams.
Who he was then,
I should say, I just say, in my little script there,
There's a little man here.
it didn't have your name
I'll
on
get
it.
huffy.
It didn't have your name on, Michael. I had to think about it. Good, we talk about deliberately trying to trip us up this morning. That is so unfair. Me and Gillian are struggling today. So, anyway, we'll ignore you, Michael. I'll start with Kate now. Look at the Times. I love this, Kate, because I'm a big fan of science. I love science in school, science in university, and we're going to make Britain the best place in the world to do science.
Yes, this is a very interesting story, and obviously I'm a historian, so I prefer arts research, but any research is good. And this is a very interesting story, £600 million package of investment in British science, and David Willetts, the science minister, said that what they want to do is turn Britain to the best place in the world to do science, which, I mean, I rather think we're going to need more than 600 million to do that. I mean, actually, it's not that much money. But one of their favourite companies is a company that actually turns human waste into biofuels. So they're kind of looking at the sustainable energies, renewable energies, and stem cells. And this is a very good story, considering that
where there's muck, there's brass.
Absolutely, there's money in it. That Monday's the day in which the British scientist is going to get a Nobel Prize for cloning. I think it's really pushing the fact that Britain, let's not have a brain drain. Let's stay here and get on with science.
We do some amazing stuff. I've been spending some time at the John Van Geest Cancer Research Centre in Nottingham lately, and that is the work being done there is phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Absolutely mind-blowing.
Fantastic. I think this is it. There's lots of talk about how people want to go outside of Britain because we have very strict rules on testing and science here, but they are also rigorous, and the best work is created.
Yeah.
We need to make our name for something more than tax avoidance, really.
Yeah.
It's about time.
That's very true.
But it says here that government spending on science over the last year has already encouraged private investors to plough £1 billion into British scientific research. So,
and it's great, he's saying, there's a pessimism that we're going to go to Asia, and obviously there's this concern that the Chinese universities are the best in the world, their students are going to be best. That, I think also we've got some amazing scientific brains here to keep the money here. I think this is a great idea, and I think a bit more money might be handy as well.
You mentioned tax avoidance, Michael. It's being said in the Times that it's not an option for multinationals now to avoid paying tax.
Yeah, Danny Alexander, the Chief Secretary of the Treasury, he's given a tough-talking interview in the Times. He's talking about the likes of Amazon and Starbucks, people like that, and obviously Starbucks coughed up £10 million last week, feeling slightly guilty about tax avoidance. He's also talking about tax avoiders having nowhere to hide. They're going into Liechtenstein and places like that, the Isle of Man, demanding to not see bank accounts and things like that of those who may owe tax over here. And then all of a sudden he has a go at Peter Stringfellow.
What's he doing wrong?
Because he's an older guy who made a lot of money, but he gets a bus pass as well. So in terms of people getting benefits when they don't need them, all of a sudden he says there's a perfectly fair question about whether Peter Stringfellow should get a free bus pass.
Out of all the plus 60 plus, because I guess also Peter Stringfellow gets winter food allowance because he needs to keep warm in Stringfellow.
Well, you've got to keep that nightclub warm, don't you?
It's chilly, I know. You need to stoke up the fire.
But those girls are wearing out.
Their feet are really cold in those
passes
shoes.
don't cost anything
Well,
if you don't use it, do they?
I do think they sometimes pick on the wrong people. I mean, it's something that I don't think he particularly uses the buses of London.
But it is a question, though. Should wealthy pensioners still
It is
have
a question,
all the
but I think to single out Peter
do?
Stringfellow is probably a little bit
unfair. I think.
I think Gillian's right. I mean, old people fought for that winter fuel allowance because they simply couldn't afford the extra tiny bit of money to have an extra bar on the fire, and it's going to a lot of rich people to go travelling.
Well, yeah, but it's how you actually then means test it.
Because that
costs
costs
a lot of
more
money
than even doing so.
Anyway,
so Peter Stringfellow's safe. He's going to keep warm for Christmas.
He'll be all right. We'll skip on to the Telegraph, Kate. I can't believe you're an accomplished liar.
Oh, yes. Well, a very interesting story here from the Telegraph, a survey on how to do a good lie. So essential news here. And I think we all know that sticking to your story is the important part of a lie. But the best thing to do, most important thing to do, is think of it quickly, because when we start thinking of different ideas, our lie falls down. And the more we lie, the better we get at it, and we can beat lie detectors. So just keep a straight face.
Clever. Clever. Well, I might have known it would take a lady to do all the conniving.
Stephen Dixon.
Oh my goodness.
I'm being
How very
But I'd
dare
never
you.
lie to you, Stephen. I always tell you the truth.
I know. I'm going to be in so. Gillian will give me such a slap later on.
Yeah, I will.
I tell you what, there could be a. Well, no, I can't say a slap for a teacher, but Michael the Express, this teacher who's been telling pupils this absolute nonsense.
For some
that
reason.
Father Christmas doesn't exist.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh, my goodness.
Understandably, he's been taking over hot coals. Parents are up in arms at school in Christchurch in Dorset, where he got a bit flustered. There was some question. Apparently, he was responding awkwardly to children's questions. They were being sceptical about Father Christmas for some reason. I don't know why.
No.
And anyway, in the end, he came up with this idea that Santa Claus doesn't exist. He's very upset now. Simon Adorian, the head teacher at the Christchurch Junior School, said the teacher's mortified. He said, "I have probably never spoken to someone who is feeling as sorry as this teacher."
This
He's
teacher.
extremely sorry
He
about
told
it.
a whole class of 8 and 9-year-olds that Santa doesn't exist. So they were
Well,
all
if they're going to
8.
get chippy about it, mind, you know, he's
Well-
going to tell them these lies.
It's just nonsense. Well, he won't be getting any presents at Christmas.
Well,
Let me
no.
just say that.
You know, I said at 3 that I didn't believe in Santa, and so I didn't get any presents.
Oh, well, there you go.
I know, that's
Serves
what.
you right.
I think my mum thought, why bother? You know, because she doesn't believe in Santa. So kids pretend.
do now, though,
Pretend. I
don't
do
you?
now.
Seriously, that must have been a bleak Christmas.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh, no, I love it. I love going down in the morning, seeing, you know, what he's been, what he's left.
Yeah, I get a Satsuma.
Love all of that.
I get a Satsuma
I do.
and
It's all
apple.
very exciting. We need to stock up on candles and head for the hills.
Yes, story
Kate.
from the Telegraph. The December the 21st marks the conclusion of the
Yes.
5,125-year long count Mayan calendar, and it's possible this could bring in the end of the world. And we're not obviously very bothered about it in the United Kingdom, but in Russia and China, panic buying of candles has soared along with survival shelters.
Well, when the end of the world comes, obviously we're going to need to light a candle.
Yeah,
'cause
well, that's
that'll-
it, yeah. Those candles.
that'll
That'll
help us. We've been blown out of the cosmos. Light a candle. Nonsense. Nonsense. We'll all be all right.
And they
for the
banned
22nd.
UFO watchers just in case, in France, in case they might get overexcited.
Ridiculous, isn't it? It will all be fine. I promise you
Look
that.
to see an overexcited
21st.
UFO.
December the
21st.
21st.
Still make it
Don't
over.
spend all your money before then.
And buy a
Lovely.
candle.
Thank you both. Good to see you this
Thank
morning.
you.
Quick check on the weather for you. Here's Joe.
Over the Sea of Japan, as cool